My name is Harshad Chaturvedi, and today we are going to talk about session trials. Depending on the gravity of the offence and the punishment prescribed thereof, criminal trial under the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 has been classified into two ways: magisterial trial and session trial. The first schedule to the CRPC is divided into two parts, namely Part 1 and Part 2. Column 1 of the first part of the first schedule enumerates the list of offences punishable under the IPC, and column 6 thereof indicates the court by which those offences are trialable. Those courts are either the magistrates' court or the courts of sessions. The magistrate second part of the first schedule deals with offences punishable under others' law. In the absence of any specific provisions under such other laws regarding investigation, inquiry, or trial, the procedure prescribed under the CRPC for the same shall be applicable by virtue of Section 4, subsection 2 of CRPC. If under the special law the offence is punishable with the imprisonment for life or imprisonment for more than 7 years, then by virtue of the second part of the 1 Schedule 2 CRPC, the offence shall be trialable by a court of session. The object of criminal trial. The criminal trial is meant for doing justice not by to the victim but also to the accused and the society at large. In the case of Ambeka PD versus State of Delhi Administration, 2000, every criminal trial is a voyage of discovery in which the truth is the quest. The primary object of criminal trial is to ensure fair trial, which is guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. A fair trial has thereof two objects in view: it must be fair to the accused and must also be fair to the prosecution. The trial must be judged from this dual point of view. White T.H. Hussain versus M.P. Motkar, AIR 1958, Supreme Court 376. It is thereof necessary to remember that a judge does not preside over a criminal trial merely to see that no innocent man is punished. A judge also presides to see that a guilty man does not escape. One is as important as the other, both are public duties which the judge has to perform. The object of criminal trial is thus to render public justice by punishing the criminal. It is also important to remember that the trial should be concluded expeditiously before the memory of the witness fades out. The recent trend is to delay the trial and threaten like witness or to win over the witnesses by promise or induced. These malpractices need to be curbed and public justice can be ensured to the satisfaction of all concerned only when trial is conducted expeditiously. The public interest demands that criminal justice is swift, ensure that the guilty is punished while events are still fresh in the public mind, and that the innocent is absolved as early as is consistent with a fair and impartial trial. MS Sharif versus State of Madras. If unmerited acquittals become the general rule, they tend to lead to a cynical disregard of the law. A miscarriage of justice may arise from the acquittal of the guilty no less than from the conviction of the innocent. White Gangadhar Behera versus State of Orissa, 2000. In getting the true fruits of the real object of criminal trial, it must always be kept in view that a criminal trial is not like a fairy tale, wherein one is where to give flight to one's imagination and fantasy. It concerns itself with the question as to whether the accused arraigned at the trial is guilty of the crime with which he is charged. Crime is an event in real life and is the product of interplay different human emotions in arriving at the conclusion about the guilty of the accused charged with the commission of a crime. and the animus of the witness. Every case in the final analysis would be have to depend upon its own effects. Thank you.